Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongues. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongues. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Join us.
Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongues. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue.
Chag Sameach! It's a beautiful evening, and it's Simchat Torah, which means tonight we bring a lot of joy. We're going to horror with the Torah. We're going to get our shpilches out with some beautiful klezmer music, and it is just the perfect night. Tonight we're going to finish reading the book of Deuteronomy, and then we're going to start reading the book of Genesis, because, you know, like that favorite story that you ask your parents to read over and over when you're a child, and you get something new out of it every time, it's the same with Torah, and that's why we have Torah study. Join me Wednesdays at 11 or Saturdays at 9. We always turn back to Torah because it gives us the foundation, the stories of our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah and Moses, who's standing right over there. See Moses? And it tells us how we're supposed to live as Jews. So tonight, we start that reading over. It is my pleasure to welcome up our president to share a few words of welcome and announcements. I'm Rabbi Pankin.
I'm Cantor Wally.
And we're joined by Shpilchas tonight and by Jennifer Fessler. Here, use mine.
Welcome, everybody. It's so, again, awesome to see everybody out and about and together. So thank you. Welcome to the Shpilkas. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
I've been listening to them rehearse. It is sure to be an amazing evening. I want to thank Martine and Chino and, of course, Glenn and Micah. This setup is phenomenal, and all of our viewers at home, you are getting like professional quality viewing. So thank you to these guys because we can't do it without them. Next Friday night is our Kabbalat Shabbat. I'm told my mouth isn't big enough. Next Friday night, our service is at 6:30. It's the first Friday of every month. So please join us again. The band's going to be back, and it's going to be another giant party. So we hope to see all of you there. There are delicious cookies on the side, so make sure you take it. And when we are dancing with the Torahs, there will be a leader. So kind of follow the leader around so we maintain some order. See you guys afterwards.
Hine matovu manaim, how beautiful it is when we come together in joy.
Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad.
Let's read together where it says a blessing on the first page. May your eyes sparkle with the light of Torah, and may your ears hear the music of its words. May the space between each letter of the scrolls bring warmth and happiness to your soul. May the syllables draw holiness from your heart, and may this holiness be gentle and soothing to you and all God's creatures.
If you're able, please rise for our call to worship. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. La 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 ya la 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 dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Please be seated. Our next prayer is the Shema. And this is always a really special moment, the Shema and Simchat Torah at our synagogue, because in our community, it's when we invite up all of our kindergarten students, all of the students in Mrs. Gitlitz's class who are starting Hebrew school for the first time. And you know, we never let a special moment of transition go by. We always have to say a blessing and celebrate it. So it is my pleasure to call up our consecrants tonight. I'm going to call them by name. Riley Gallowitz, Morgan Glashow, Priya Levine, Alex Rosenberg, and Daniela Schaefer.
Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, berachnuchem mipeit Adonai. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, berachnuchem mipeit Adonai. Siman, siman, siman tov, u'mazel, mazel, mazel tov. Yehi lanu l'chol Yisrael. Amen. Siman, siman, siman tov, mazel, mazel, mazel tov. Yehi lanu l'chol Yisrael.
Looking at Nay.
Amen.
Oh, it is so nice to see you up here. Oh God, we bless these children now and always. May the words of Torah always be sweet on their lips, and may the life of Torah bring light to their eyes and joy to their hearts. This day, consecrate them to you, O God, and your teaching. As they grow in learning, may they grow in wisdom. May they bring honor to themselves, their families, this community and congregation, and all of Israel, your people. And let us say, Amen. And parents, I'd like to invite you to join in reading the parents' prayer together.
We give thanks for the gift of our children, who have been entrusted to us as a sacred responsibility. May we find wisdom to raise them in the tradition of our people, the tradition of Torah and mitzvot, of love and good deeds. May this be a moment of consecration for us, no less than for our children, for we too need to learn Torah and live it. O God, let us such joy as we feel. Be with us always, as we seek the path of life and goodness for ourselves and for our loved ones. Amen.
And we're now going to ask our students, they've been practicing with Mrs. Gitlitz, to lead our congregation in the Shema. This is the most important prayer in Judaism because it's all about how God is one, something that Jews introduced to the world. Okay, so students, I'm going to count to 3, and then you, as loud as you can, chant the Shema. Can you do that? You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Before you sit down, we have something special for you. We have a tiny little Torah because we hope this is the beginning of all your studies of Torah. You're welcome. And there's one for Morgan. And then we also have for you a certificate of your consecration. It looks like this. It's a very special certificate with your name on it that Mrs. Pescatori, our religious school director, put together for you. And inside this envelope is something super, super special. You know what the best thing you can do in this whole entire world is? Go to Jewish sleepaway camp. Now, you are too young to do that, but in this secret magic envelope is a $200 gift certificate for each of you to go to Camp Harlem when you're in the third, actually you can start in second grade with a 2-week program. And there's lots of scholarship through the local federation and through the synagogue. But we hope that one day, as part of your Jewish life, you'll get the opportunity to go to Jewish camp. So Riley, here you go. Hold on to this. Morgan. Priya. And Alex. And what do we say to all of them? Mazel tov. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mazel tov.
Can I have that every week for Shabbat? Whenever we have a special moment, we all join together in the words of Shehechianu, thanking God for enabling us to be alive and to be here to celebrate this day. And if one of your kids was just consecrated, I encourage you to grab your kids as we join together in Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh
Page 3, we continue with Ve'ahavta. Let's all join together.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'od lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Let's read together. How do we love God? We love God when we do good deeds each day. Help us, God, to show you our love in every way. How do we love God with all our hearts? We love God with all our hearts when we love other people. Help us, God, to respect everyone, to speak kind words, to listen well. How do we love God with all our minds? We love God with all our minds when we study Torah. Help us, God, to learn your Torah.
Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba 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 bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar hakodesh. Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele, malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam libnei Moshe uMiriam, ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai melech le'olam va'ed. Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Please rise for our Amidah. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sifatai tiftach, Ufi agi tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words. Open my heart to love. Open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, B'chayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melech, melech memit umchayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelujah selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
Let's read together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Please rise again for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet kedula liotzeir bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This evening, we especially recall the more than 697,000 Americans and the 4.7 million human beings around the world who have died from COVID-19. We recall those whose families are in the 7-day mourning period of Shiva: Howard Pryder, the father of Michelle Levin, father-in-law of Seth and grandfather of Zachary and Travis, and William Garson Pazamant, stepson of Ann Pazamant, stepbrother of Karen Goldstein, and uncle to Sarah, Rachel, Miri, and Ben. Jack Agron, the brother of Sandy Sharon. And we remember those whose families are in the 30-day mourning period of Shloshim: Ronald Tachman, Jeffrey Schnoyer, Mason Solomon, Paul Mark, and Michael Modell. And we recall those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, falls on Shmini Atzeret: Lena Berger, Henrietta Breslow, Audrey Berg, Irene Nathanson, Judy Pius, Herman Pritchett, Henry Singer, and Charles S. Sobel. Zichronam Livracha, may those who have touched our lives bless us through the beauty of their memory. We rise together for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chaye chon u'vyomei chon, uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha berichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe Shalama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, as together we say, amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
Please be seated. And now, the moment that you've waited for, the Torah service. It's so exciting. Cantor, Wally, what are we doing now?
Oh my gosh. We are about to sing the Shema and a couple of other prayers to take our Torahs out, to welcome them into the community. And we're going to read the very last words of the Torah, the very, 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 very end of the scroll. And then we're going to read some words at the very, 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 very beginning of the scroll. And we'll call up two special groups of people for that. However, to start us off, we need a couple of volunteers that Jennifer has arranged, our president, to come and hold the first Torah. And while it's being unwrapped, so you see the last few words on the Torah scroll, we'll teach you an important thing to say when we reach the very end of the Torah. When we reach the very end of the Torah, or end of any book, we say three words: Chazak,
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 V'nitchazek.
V'nitchazek.
And it's a tradition for the congregation to say it first, and then the reader. What you're really saying is, may we be strengthened, be strong,
and let us
be strengthened.
One another.
Exactly. And so,
Okay.
without
So
further
one of you
ado,
is
let's
gonna
welcome
come
Torah
stand
into our midst with singing Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adoneinu Kadosh Shemo. And so, for our first Aliyah, we're going to have a community Aliyah blessing. This will get everyone warmed up for it, right? So you can find the words of the Torah blessing there, the opening Torah blessing. Hold on, we'll get ourselves set here. And then we'll sing the opening Torah blessing. Here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Cantor will now read from the end of Deuteronomy.
Velo kam navi od b'Yisrael kemoshe. And there never was, never, absolutely never, even from the time this Torah was written until now, there never was a prophet like Moses. Asher yada'o Adonai panim el panim, who was so familiar with God, it was like they were face to face. Lechol ha'achat v'hamoftim asher shalachu Adonai. Moses was the one who did all of God's bidding. La'asot ba'eretz Mitzrayim, all the works of the wonders in the land of Egypt. Lefaro ulechol avadav ulechol artso, to Pharaoh and to all his court and to all the people of Egypt. Ulechol hayad hazaka lechol hamorah hagadol, with all the signs and wonders that included the big strong arm of God leading them out. Asher asa Moshe, that's what Moses did. Le'enei kol Yisrael, in the witness of all Israel. You ready for those three words? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. And our closing blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Keep holding it, or you're going to be really hungry. Now, while this Torah is being rolled up, that is the very, very end, the tippy end of the Torah. So now that we've read that, do we just say, oh, we finished the Torah? No, we go right back to the beginning. We go to the beginning of the scroll, and since it takes a long time to roll it, we have another scroll that's prepared. It's my pleasure to call up our incredible education director, Melissa Pescatori, who's going to read for us this evening from the beginning of the book of Bereshit, from the book of Genesis. And I'd like to call up with her all of the students who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah in this coming year. So if your Bar Bat Mitzvah is from this time until this time next year, come on up and you're going to lead us in the blessings. And we'll help you, so don't be afraid. And you can bring your papers with you. Yep. Okay. You guys are going to come stand right here on my side. Gather round. Scoot back a little bit, make room for everybody. You got to get into the camera, otherwise your grandparents won't see you from Florida. Scoot in a little. Can we make 2 rows? This group come forward. Let's have the taller people in the back. Okay. Taller people scoot around. Here, come around the tree this way. Here, you guys stay in the front. Okay. You ready? Glenn, can you see them? All right. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Just stay right here.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz hayeta tohu vavohu ve'choshech al pnei tehom ve'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara laila vayhi erev vayhi voker Yom Echad. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was chaos and unformed, and there was darkness over the face of the deep. And God's Spirit moved over the water, the face of the waters, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness, and called the light day, and God called the darkness night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day.
1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'toheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yeshua.
Yashikoah.
This whole group coming to a synagogue near you. Got a good year ahead of us. Well, we've read from the Torah, so now it is time to horror with the Torah. We are going to have, it's traditional to have 7 hakafot. Why 7? Because it's like creation, the 7 days of creation. We're creating a whole new year, a whole new cycle of reading Torah. And we're going to call you up according to different categories of people. And when you hear, for example, we may call up board members and leaders. We may call up those who have gone to Israel. We may call up those who live in Manalapan, or those who live in Marlborough, Middletown, Morganville, Monroe, and Millstone, all the M names. So listen for your group. There are going to be 6 Torahs over here. Melissa's going to help to transfer these 2 Torahs. Because of COVID, we're going to suggest, rather than handing a Torah to someone, which gets you close to a stranger, instead, we're going to put the Torahs down. And if you want to take a Torah to lead a hakafah, to lead a parade with it, just come and pick up a Torah. And when you're done with it, just put it back down on the table. Now, Moses, where are you? Moses is going to lead our parade. To keep everyone safe, we're not going to go behind the tent, but we're going to go through the back of the tent and back around. And Shpilchas is going to be playing. And if you are so moved to do a little hora and you want to dance where you are, feel free. So we're going to start our hakafot. Are you ready?
We're ready.
I am not convinced. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Okay. So let's first, for our first hakafah, I'd like to call up our board members, our past board members and committee chairs. If you've ever volunteered for anything at the temple, come on up. Come take a Torah and get the hora started. Just go on and take a Torah. Flags are in that green bucket underneath the kids. We have flags. You can wave your flag. For the next Hakafah, we'd like to invite up any new members, any kindergarten students, and their families. New members and our consecration students, and Mrs. Gitlitz. Get your flags. Hi. You don't have to be under 13 to wave a flag. Follow Moses. If you've been to Israel, come on up, grab a Torah, or just do the Hora and lead the next Hakafah. If you are a resident of Manalapan, please come up for Hakafah number 4. Residents of Manalapan, come on up.
If you're in the 07726.
07726. Manalapan residents, come grab a Torah and get your Hora on. All right, if you're a resident of Freehold, Colts Neck, Howell, Old Bridge, Homedale, Lakewood, Jackson, The Shore, and Eatontown, do you want me to repeat that? If you're not an M-town, the name of your town doesn't start with an M. If you're in Monroe, sit down, not yet. Anyone who's not in an M-town, please come and grab a Torah. And now, if you're living in a town that begins with M, like Marlboro, Morganville, Monroe, Middletown, or Millstone, please come lead the Hakafah.
Azoi. You missed those? That's probably somebody else's symbol though.
And for Hakafa number 7, before we conclude with a big horror with everyone, we have some very special families.
Yeah.
We have some
Dance
families
numbers,
that are
horrors,
3
whatever you want.
generations in Road of Torah and Temple
After this one,
Shereemeth,
right, then
where
we'll conclude the service and
grandchildren,
we'll say,
parents, and grandparents
dancing.
are all members of the community. And then we even have a few that have great-grandchildren, grandchildren, children, and grandparents who are members of our congregation. So I would like to invite up all of our 3 and 4 generation families. Bercies, I see you, our 4 generation family. Our 3 and 4 families, 3 and 4 generation families, come lead the 7th Hakafa, and then we will conclude with an all-out Torah with everyone. Anyone who wants to dance with the Torah. Moses, take a Torah and lead them. Just follow Moses. Well, we have danced with the Torah 7 times. We want to say Chag Sameach to our friends online. Thank you for joining us. And also reminding you, we will have Yizkor tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., both online and in person in the sanctuary. And now, to close out our service this evening, I'd like to invite everybody to get up, and we'll all do a Hakafah together. Come on.